They thought they had you all figured out, dependent, needy, always seeking their approval, constantly playing by their rules. They thrived on your need for validation, on the control they held over your emotions. Then something shifted. You changed. You embraced your inner strength. You walked away. And that's what shattered their ego. They didn't see it coming. The sudden realization that you didn't need them, that your world didn't revolve around their approval, hit them harder than any argument ever could. This is the power of Stoic self-reliance, the ability to find peace and fulfillment within yourself, independent of external validation. Welcome to Stoic Spirit, the channel dedicated to exploring the transformative wisdom of Stoicism and applying it to modern life. Today, we're delving deep into this fascinating dynamic and uncovering why your newfound independence is so threatening to those who once thrived on your dependence. Hit that subscribe button and join the Stoic Spirit community for more insights on mastering your emotions, building unshakable confidence, and living a life of true freedom. Are you ready to discover the power within? Let's dive in. 1. The Crutch of Control. Imagine a puppeteer pulling the strings, orchestrating every move, reveling in the control they wield over their marionette. For some people, relationships become a similar performance, a stage where they play the role of the indispensable savior, the crutch you desperately need to navigate life's challenges. They thrive on your dependence, on the belief that without them, you'd crumble. It feeds their ego, inflating their sense of importance and validating their existence. They need you to need them. It's not always a conscious, malicious manipulation. Sometimes it's a deep-seated insecurity, a need to feel valued and essential. They become the provider of solutions, the shoulder to cry on, the constant source of reassurance. They position themselves as the anchor in your stormy sea, the unwavering support system you can always rely on. And as long as you remain dependent, they maintain a sense of control, a feeling of power derived from your perceived weakness. They become the crutch you lean on, subtly reinforcing the idea that you're incapable of standing on your own. They might offer unsolicited advice, downplay your accomplishments, or create subtle dependencies that keep you tethered to them. They become the sun around which your world revolves, dimming your own light to make theirs shine brighter. But what happens when the crutch is removed? When you decide you no longer need to lean on someone else for support? When you realize that true strength lies not in dependence, but in self-reliance? That's when the dynamics shift and the puppeteer's strings fall slack. Stoicism teaches us that true power lies not in controlling others, but in mastering ourselves. It's about cultivating inner resilience, emotional intelligence, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with grace and composure. It's about recognizing that your worth doesn't depend on someone else's validation, but on your own inherent value. Think of a towering oak tree, its roots firmly planted in the earth. It doesn't need external supports. Its strength comes from within. It weathers the storms, bends with the wind, but never breaks. This is the essence of Stoic self-reliance. You become your own anchor, your own source of strength, your own guiding light. Practical exercise. Identify areas in your life where you've become overly reliant on others. Are you constantly seeking advice or reassurance? Are you allowing someone else to dictate your choices or define your worth? Start small. Make one independent decision, no matter how insignificant it may seem. Take one step towards self-reliance, and then another. As you build your inner strength, you'll find that you no longer need the crutch of external validation. You'll discover the liberating power of standing on your own 2 feet, firmly grounded in your own sense of self. And that newfound strength, that unwavering self-reliance, is what will truly shatter the ego of those who once thrived on your dependence. 2. The Sting of Self-Reliance. Picture a delicate flower, carefully cultivated in a controlled environment, dependent on the gardener's every whim for its survival. The gardener meticulously controls the light, the water, the nutrients, convinced that without their constant intervention, the flower would wither and die. This is how some people view relationships, seeing themselves as the indispensable gardener, providing the essential elements for your emotional well-being. They expect you to wilt without their attention, their validation, They're carefully measured doses of approval. They believe they are your sun, the sole source of your sustenance. They offer intermittent rays of sunshine. A compliment here, a gesture of affection there, just enough to keep you reaching, seeking, dependent on their warmth. They thrive on this dynamic, on the belief that your happiness hinges entirely on their approval. But what happens when the flower discovers its own inner resources? What happens when it realizes that it can draw nourishment not only from the sun, but also from the rich soil beneath its roots, from the life-giving rain, from the very air it breathes? That's what happens when you embrace self-reliance. You blossom, you thrive, you discover that your well-being doesn't depend on someone else's validation, but on your own inner strength, your own resilience, your own capacity for growth. You become like a wildflower, resilient and adaptable, capable of flourishing even in harsh conditions, no longer dependent on the gardener's carefully controlled environment. You find nourishment within yourself. You cultivate your own inner sunshine, a radiant source of self-love and acceptance that illuminates your path, regardless of external circumstances. You discover the joy of pursuing your passions, the satisfaction of achieving your goals, the peace of connecting with your authentic self. This self-reliance, this blossoming of your inner strength, is a silent victory that speaks volumes. It's a powerful message, not only to yourself, but also to those who once underestimated your resilience. It's a quiet rebellion, a gentle defiance of their expectations. They're left stunned, watching in disbelief as you flourish without their intervention. Their carefully constructed narrative crumbles, their ego bruised by the realization that they were not, in fact, indispensable. Your independence becomes a mirror, reflecting their own insecurities and exposing the fragility of their control. Practical exercise. Cultivate your inner garden. Nurture your passions, your talents, your dreams. Spend time each day engaging in activities that bring you joy, that nourish your soul, that make you feel alive. Connect with nature, practice mindfulness, explore your creativity. As you cultivate your inner resources, you'll discover a wellspring of strength and resilience that will sustain you, regardless of external circumstances. Remember, true happiness blooms not from seeking external validation, but from nurturing the garden within. And that blossoming, that quiet strength, is the most powerful message you can send. 3. Kindness, not weakness. A wolf in sheep's clothing, a Trojan horse. These metaphors capture the insidious way some people perceive and exploit kindness. They see gentleness as a weakness, compassion as a vulnerability, and empathy as an invitation to manipulate and control. They mistake your willingness to understand, to forgive, to offer a helping hand as a sign that you'll tolerate anything, that you'll endlessly bend to their will, no matter how much they test your boundaries. They might have interpreted your patience as desperation, your willingness to compromise as a lack of self-worth. They saw your kindness not as a strength, but as a weakness to be exploited, a vulnerability to be preyed upon. They believed you stayed because you needed them, not because you chose to be there. But they were wrong. Stoicism teaches us that true kindness isn't about being a doormat. It's about acting with integrity, compassion, and wisdom. It's about choosing to treat others with respect and understanding, not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to rise above pettiness and negativity. It's about recognizing the shared humanity in all of us, even in those who mistreat us. And true kindness also requires strength. The strength to set boundaries, the strength to say no, the strength to walk away from what doesn't serve you. Your departure wasn't an act of surrender. It was an act of self-preservation. It was a declaration that you value your own well-being, your own peace of mind, and that you won't allow anyone, no matter how close, to diminish your worth. Think of a mighty river, its waters flowing gracefully yet powerfully. It carves its own path, navigating obstacles with strength and fluidity. It doesn't allow itself to be contained or controlled. It follows its natural course, nourishing the land and shaping the landscape. Your kindness, like that river, is a source of strength, not weakness. It flows from a place of deep inner resilience, not from a need for external validation. Your departure was like the river changing its course, refusing to be dammed or diverted. It was a powerful statement, a silent assertion of your self-worth. It showed them that your kindness wasn't about seeking their approval or tolerating their disrespect. It was about staying true to your values, even when it meant walking away. Practical exercise. Reflect on your own acts of kindness. Are they motivated by genuine compassion or by a need to please or seek approval? Are you setting healthy boundaries, or are you allowing others to take advantage of your generosity? Practice saying no to requests that drain your energy or compromise your well-being. Remember, true kindness isn't about sacrificing yourself. It's about honoring your own worth while extending compassion to others. And sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for yourself and for them is to walk away. Your departure, though initially painful, can be a powerful catalyst for growth and transformation, both for you and for the person you're leaving behind. It's a testament to your strength, your resilience, and your unwavering commitment to your own well-being. 4. The game changer. Ever feel like you're trapped in a game you never agreed to play? A game with constantly shifting rules where the other person always seems to be one step ahead? They're the puppet master, pulling the strings, manipulating the board, and you're the marionette, dancing to their tune, desperately trying to anticipate their next move. They thrive on this power dynamic, on the control they exert over your emotions, your actions, your very sense of self. They thought they were playing chess, strategically planning their every move, confident in their ability to outmaneuver you. They set the traps, carefully laid out to test your limits, to gauge your devotion, to see how far you'll bend before you break. They offer intermittent rewards, a compliment, a gesture of affection, a fleeting moment of connection, just enough to keep you engaged, to keep you chasing after their approval. They might use silent treatments, backhanded compliments, or subtle manipulations to keep you off balance, to maintain their position of power. They believe they have you all figured out, that they can predict your every reaction, that they hold the key to your happiness. But then, you make a move they never anticipated. You flip the game. You walk away from the table, refusing to play by their rules. You refuse to be their pawn, their puppet, their emotional plaything. You declare your independence, your autonomy, your right to define your own worth. This isn't about winning or losing. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about recognizing that you don't have to participate in their game, that you have the right to choose your own path, to create your own rules, to define your own happiness. It's about realizing that their validation isn't the prize. Your own self-worth is. Your departure is a game changer. It disrupts their carefully constructed strategy, throws their calculations into chaos, and leaves them stunned, bewildered, and scrambling to regain control. They're like a chess player who suddenly realizes their opponent has made a move they didn't foresee, a move that threatens their entire game plan. That unexpected move? Checkmate. You've taken back control of the board, not by playing their game, but by refusing to play it altogether. You've shown them that their power over you was an illusion, a mirage created by your own need for their validation. Now the game is over, and they're left to grapple with the consequences of their actions, the emptiness of their control, the sting of your self-reliance. Practical exercise. Identify the games you've been playing in your relationships. Are you constantly seeking approval, trying to anticipate someone's needs, or bending over backward to please them? What are the rules of these games, and who's making them? Start by recognizing your own role in the dynamic. Then consciously choose to step away from the game. Refuse to participate in the manipulations, the power struggles, the endless pursuit of validation. Focus on your own growth, your own happiness, your own well-being. Become the master of your own game, the architect of your own life. This is the Stoic path to true freedom, the ultimate checkmate in the game of control. 5. The silent observer. Ever feel like a ghost is lingering, a silent observer lurking just beyond your peripheral vision? That's the unsettling feeling of knowing that someone you once cared about, is still watching you, tracking your every move, trying to decipher the enigma of your newfound happiness. They're scrolling through your social media, piecing together the fragments of your life, desperate to understand how you're thriving without them. They're the silent audience to your post-breakup glow-up, the unseen witnesses to your journey of self-discovery. They're watching, not because they necessarily want you back, but because your happiness, your growth, your peace, it's a constant nagging reminder of their miscalculation. They thought they had you pegged, categorized, neatly filed away in the needs me compartment of their mind. They believed you were dependent on their validation, their affection, their presence in your life. They imagined you'd crumble without them, lost and adrift in a sea of insecurity. But you didn't. You thrived. And now they're left grappling with the cognitive dissonance of your happiness. How could you possibly be happy without them? How could you be so content? It's a question that gnaws at their ego, a silent indictment of their assumptions, a stark reminder of their misjudgment. They scrutinize your every post, every photo, every update, searching for clues, for cracks in your facade, for any sign of weakness or regret. They're hoping to find evidence that their absence has left a gaping hole in your life, that you're secretly miserable, pining for their return. But what they find instead is a picture of strength, resilience, and self-reliance. They see you pursuing your passions, achieving your goals, building meaningful connections with others. They see you living a life filled with joy, purpose, and a quiet confidence they never witnessed before. And that silence, that unwavering focus on your own well-being, speaks louder than any explanation ever could. It's a silent victory, a powerful message conveyed not through words, but through actions. It says, I don't need your validation. I don't need your approval. I'm happy, I'm thriving, and my world doesn't revolve around you. This silent message is often far more impactful than any angry outburst or tearful plea. It's a testament to your growth, your resilience, and your unwavering commitment to your own happiness. Practical exercise. Embrace your growth. Don't hide your happiness or downplay your successes. Share your journey authentically, not to provoke or taunt, but to celebrate your own progress. Let your actions speak for themselves, letting the silent observers witness the transformative power of self-love and self-reliance. Your happiness isn't about them, it's about you. And that's the most powerful message you can send. The more you thrive, the more you embody your authentic self, the louder your silence will speak, echoing the undeniable truth of your newfound freedom and independence. Their observations become your affirmations. Their questions become your answers. Their doubts become your fuel. Your silence becomes a symphony of self-worth, a resounding testament to the power of letting go and embracing your own path. 6. The Mirror of Truth. Imagine a magician performing a dazzling illusion, their sleight of hand captivating the audience, their carefully crafted tricks obscuring the truth. But then the lights come on, the curtain falls, and the audience is left to confront the reality behind the illusion. The mirrors, the smoke, the hidden compartments. This is what happens when you remove yourself from a dynamic where someone has been projecting their insecurities onto you. Your absence holds up a mirror to their ego, stripping away the smoke and mirrors of their manipulations and forcing them to confront the truth. For so long, they may have used you as a screen onto which they projected their own flaws, their own fears, their own self-doubt. They might have called you needy, insecure, or dramatic, not because these were accurate reflections of you, but because these were the very qualities they struggled with within themselves. They needed you to embody these traits to avoid confronting them within their own psyche. Your perceived weakness became a convenient scapegoat for their own unresolved issues. Your presence allowed them to maintain a carefully constructed narrative, a story in which they were the strong one, the stable one, the one in control. They needed you to play the role of the dependent, the insecure, the one constantly seeking their approval, to validate their own sense of superiority. But when you walk away, the illusion shatters. The mirror of your absence reflects the truth back to them, a truth they've been desperately trying to avoid. They can no longer project their insecurities onto you. They're forced to confront them within themselves. The stage is empty, the audience gone, and the magician is left alone with their tricks, exposed and vulnerable. They're forced to confront the reality of their actions, the subtle manipulations, the dismissive comments, the emotional withdrawals, the very behaviors they once justified by blaming your perceived weakness. They see the fragility of their control, the emptiness of their power, the hollowness of their ego. The carefully constructed image they had of themselves and of you begins to crumble. This confrontation can be deeply unsettling. They might try to deflect, to rewrite the narrative, to blame you for their discomfort. They might even attempt to lure you back into the old dynamic, hoping to regain the control they've lost. But the truth, once revealed, is difficult to ignore. Practical exercise. During your time of detachment, focus on self-reflection. Examine the labels they placed on you. Were they accurate reflections of your true self, or were they projections of their own insecurities? This process of self-discovery can be incredibly empowering. It allows you to separate yourself from their narrative and to reclaim your own identity. Remember, their perceptions are not your reality. Your worth is not determined by their opinions. The more you embrace your authentic self, the less power their projections will hold over you. The mirror of your absence reveals not only their truth, but yours as well. And that self-awareness, that clarity of vision, is the ultimate key to freedom and lasting self-worth. 7. Reclaiming your narrative. Imagine being a supporting character in someone else's story, your role defined by their narrative, your actions dictated by their plotline. You're the sidekick, the confidant, the emotional crutch, your existence serving to enhance the protagonist's journey, often at the expense of your own. You might have glimpses of your own desires, your own dreams, but they're constantly overshadowed by the demands of the main character, their needs, their dramas, their expectations. This is what it feels like to be trapped in a relationship where someone else is controlling the narrative, defining your worth, dictating your happiness. But what if you decided to rewrite the script? What if you took the pen from their hand and started writing your own story? A story where you are the protagonist, the hero of your own journey. This is the power of reclaiming your narrative. It's about recognizing that you are not a supporting character in someone else's life. You are the author of your own. You have the power to define your worth, your happiness, your future. You are the architect of your own destiny, the creator of your own reality. When you detach from a relationship where you've been playing a supporting role, you're not just walking away from a person, you're stepping into your own power. You're reclaiming your voice, your agency, your right to self-determination. You're no longer defined by their opinions, their expectations, or their limitations. This self-authorship is your ultimate power. It's the ability to choose your own path, to set your own goals, to create a life that aligns with your values and aspirations. It's about taking control of the pen and writing a story that reflects your authentic self, your dreams, your passions, your unique perspective. It's about becoming the hero of your own journey, the protagonist of your own life. This doesn't mean you become selfish or disregard the needs of others. It means you prioritize your own well-being, recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup. It means you set healthy boundaries, communicate your needs clearly, and refuse to compromise your values for the sake of someone else's approval. Practical exercise. Start writing your own story, literally. Begin a journal, a blog, or even just a simple document on your computer. Write about your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. Explore your values, your passions, your unique talents. What kind of story do you want to create for yourself? What kind of life do you want to live? Don't censor yourself. Allow your thoughts and feelings to flow freely onto the page. As you write, you'll begin to clarify your vision, to define your purpose, to reclaim your narrative. And as you step into the role of the author of your own life, you'll discover a wellspring of strength, resilience, and self-awareness that will empower you to create a life filled with joy, meaning, and authentic connection. Remember, your story is yours to write. Don't let anyone else hold the pen. So the next time you find yourself seeking validation from someone who diminishes your worth, remember the power of Stoic self-reliance. Embrace your independence. Cultivate your inner strength. Stop playing the supporting character in their story and start writing your own. Define your own worth, your own happiness, your own future. This is the Stoic path to unshakable self-worth, the path to true freedom and lasting fulfillment. It's not about seeking revenge or making them regret their actions. It's about reclaiming your power, finding peace within yourself and creating a life that aligns with your authentic self. Thank you for joining us on this Stoic exploration. We hope this video has empowered you to embrace your independence and cultivate your inner strength. If you found this valuable, please hit that like button and share it with anyone who might benefit from a little Stoic wisdom. And don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Spirit for more insights and practical advice on applying Stoic principles to modern life. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video, where we'll continue exploring the path to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. We'll see you there.